The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 23rd day of May, 2022, 23rd day of May. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Motocross, One Communications and Linders. I'm Jamal Hartman. She is Sancha Dorm, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sancha, how was your weekend?
Good morning. I want to talk about this backdrop again. Jamal, you're showing me up. I need in on these really cool backdrops.
Yeah, this was the most, the fellas are in the house today,
I'm loving it. See, I try to put on my sequin shirt to be, festive. My inner majorette.
Yeah. All right, hot pepper. All right. Work United. I don't know which one I'm going with. I'm no. But
yeah, my weekend, Jamal. Oh my goodness.
Another one like that. What did Maddox have you do?
Maddox had me in the house all weekend because Maddox had a stomach virus.
Oh.
Every parent, well, apparently it's something going around where a lot of the kids are catching it, and Maddox decided to bring it home on a Friday night.
Oh.
Not a Monday, so we have a few days off of work.
Oh.
We were in the house all weekend, and parents know it's every parent's nightmare.
It happened
to me. He was like, "Mommy, I've never been this sick. I'm not used to being this sick." I'm like, "Oh." It felt bad. But then yesterday we did get to go down, and I felt so bad for him. So we had put so much preparation into his bikes because it was the last race for the season. Got all his bike service. We even got a trailer. We were going to be real motor mom this weekend.
And work all like that?
He couldn't race. So we went down. He started feeling better yesterday around about 12. So we went down and it was such good vibes down at Bermuda Motocross. So shout out to them. They had the father's race, mechanics race, mother's race, which I'm never going to do.
Come on now.
Jamal, I'll do mother's race when you show up to watch him.
Okay. Let me put this out there. I was a big scrambling, as we called it back then. I don't know if they still say scrambling, but motocross. Yeah, I was a big fan back in the day. But Coney Island every weekend. I have not been to scrambling in Bermuda since the days of Coney Island. That's how bad it is. So I will make it a point, and hold me to this, audience, to get down there to support Maddox next season. You have my word. You have my word.
And then I'll do the mom's race.
All right, she'll do the mom's race. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Zane, Hendrickson, and Showande Butterfield from H&H Gombeys. Folks, this is one of my favorite conversations. Well, you know what, Sedge? We need to ask them for some updated music because this is H&H from so many years ago, right? So we need to see if we can we pay fellas. We can even make an intro music or something, but we need some updated drumming beats from you guys. So let us know what's going on by the end of the show. I like putting people.
Jamal has been talking about getting this updated beat since I was even a possibility on the show.
Yeah.
The conversations we've had.
Yeah. Sancha, you haven't mentioned it to him yet?
I haven't.
Okay. Some sisters, I tell you, just gotta never taste.
Another thing I wanted to mention quickly that went on this weekend, I wasn't able to go to it, but I saw lots and lots of videos of it at Rangers. Yes, they did something called Guns Down, Bikes Up.
Mhm.
And the amount of males that I saw with their kids, the amount of kids I saw on bikes, I just want to give a shout out to Rangers because sometimes we know these community clubs get bad raps. And I
Mhm.
just want to say for us, when you see a community club trying and they're doing stuff like this, we need to meet them halfway and we need to support them.
Here's what I find troubling about it, and I saw the flyer and I saw some footage and I was like, this is amazing. This is pretty good. Obviously, cricket season beginning this weekend. And I know how the media works. And I'm so grateful for Sancha for doing that because I thought about it, but didn't even have it to mention it, right?
Mhm.
But had there been an incident at Rangers, I guarantee
It would have been mentioned.
it would have been mentioned, it would have been in the news. And this is where we as media have to be responsible. And again, I say this on air because it's so easy. They'll tell you, well, they like to put me on the spot how I send stuff backstage to them and via chat. But really, I'm grateful for that because we need to be sharing the good that our community clubs are doing.
Yes.
We have to. It's our duty and our responsibility to show them in the light for the work that they are doing for the betterment of all of us. So that said, props, hats off to Southampton Rangers and all those who participated and the community. Let's get to today's question. Oh, the Daily Play, by the way, it's a who said it. It's a who said it. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to give you some great hints, though. Some great hints.
Okay.
Great hints. But Daily Play, the discussion this morning is very interesting, and it's graduation season, Sancha. It's graduation season, and after graduation, some of the greatest disappointments happen. Let's just keep it real. Disappointments where people go and try to find jobs, they can't find jobs. People who go out, find jobs, and then get stuck, and they're not doing what they want to do. We celebrate graduation as a great step, but then what? And so I just thought, Sancha, I said, I wonder if you would like this question. And Sancha says, okay, I'm fine with that. She had
I'm
me.
fine with whatever questions Jamal throws at me. I'm like, let's do it.
So question of the morning is, and Maddox is what, 5 or 6?
6.
Okay, her son's 6. So a question that maybe she knows. Now, I'm going to be honest, folks. I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was in that 1 year I spent at Cedar Bridge on the Joanne Tucker Smith. And I kind of went into a direction that she kind of guided me. But what careers should we be preparing young people for? It's all good. We send them to college. They go out to work, right? Because again, college isn't for everyone. Some people just have the ability to go out and, take their skill and become whatever it is they choose to become. But what careers should we be preparing young people for? Like Sancha, as a mom, what do you look and an entrepreneur? But I want to start as a mom. What is it that you see that maybe Maddox enjoys that you want to guide him toward?
So at this point, for me, being a mom, I am big on let's open you up to everything. As you know, if Maddox says he wants to try it, I'm open to it and we try it. So we're open to anything. I think it's a matter of getting them to explore and knowing about all the different professions and careers and understanding what's out there and available to him. I am not big on pointing a kid in one direction because then I feel like that limits them, and that's I'm not okay with that.
No,
So we're
but
still in the exploration stage. And to be honest, Jamal, this for me, this is a difficult question because when I was in high school, I felt like, and I went to BHS, and I feel like BHS prepares you for all sorts. But I can honestly say that I do not think that they tuned in to what it is that the direction that I should go. So if you weren't looking, and I think it definitely has changed now. I'm not saying
can I ask this? Because I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You had to either be a lawyer or a doctor if you went there. Is that what they push you towards?
sorry, insurance,
Mm,
lawyer,
mm,
accountant,
mm.
and I wouldn't even say doctor because at one point in my mom would tell you I wanted to be a open heart surgeon. I don't know where it came from. I was just like I wanted to go to medical school. I feel like it wasn't supported.
Mhm.
But if I wasn't in those roles, it they really didn't. Even when I was applying for colleges and stuff like that, it was just like, okay, well, where are you going to go? What do you want to do? And
Mhm.
I still felt like I was so young. To this day, I still feel like I can do everything, which is why I'm like this serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did not feel like I was supported to
Mhm.
say, okay, this is what we should be open to. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
Well,
don't think that we should be kind of putting them in one box at such a young age. And I have a question, and I haven't been following it as much as far as the new schools that they're putting into place and how they're going to be
signature schools.
signature schools and trades and stuff like that. Like, how does that work? We're going into a trade at such a young age, and how does that work?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I would like to know how it's going to work. Obviously, I haven't attended the well, not many people have attended their things that they've had to educate the public. But you're right, because I mean, essentially, like you, I remember going to different meetings with different people in Bermuda and government, and they were pushing you towards certain things, either hospitality or reinsurance. And for me, I didn't want to do either. I knew I wanted to be in media somehow, some way. And I always felt almost bullied at times as a young Bermudian. They're like, well, this is where the job's at. This is where the opportunities at. And it reminds me of those young people in Bermuda who want to do dance or theater, and their parents push them towards, accounting and reinsurance. And it's like, but they're not happy.
Can I tell you a story?
Please.
So when I finished high school, I went to the UK. I followed the path. I did my A levels, and I was supposed to go into law school.
Mm,
And I said to myself, I was like, I am not going to waste my parents' money. Let me go back to Bermuda. I'll work in a law firm, see whether I liked it, and see what comes out of that.
mm,
From there, I went over to work at HSBC Insurance. Yeah, I was making good money, but then I remember I used to sit and look out of this window every day as
mm,
people were walking up and down, and I was just like, I'm not happy. And I was young, I was only 22. I was not happy. My heart was in media, theater.
mm,
And I remember calling my dad one day, and I asked him to pick me up. Well, I told him what I was feeling.
mm,
And I remember on my lunch break, my dad coming to pick me up, and I was in tears. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not happy. And my dad is always a firm believer of follow your dream, you know?
mm.
And I remember crying, and he was just like, well, what are you here for? What are you?
Right.
That day I decided I went to Lee Strasberg Theater School. Um, and I didn't know what was going to come of it. I didn't know what. And when I tell you the best years of my life, I performed off Broadway. I did film and TV. I made the most amazing connections that I could make. And yes, I was a broke actress, but I can also say that those people that feel like university is not for them,
Mm,
the mistakes that you pay for, like, because a lot of the time, even being an entrepreneur, I
mm,
have made so many mistakes that I've paid for. I probably paid the same amounts of money
mhm.
that people that have gone to university and colleges have paid for the tuition.
It's balanced.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
balanced.
And don't be afraid. As long as you have that you have to have the will and the drive. If you don't have the will and the drive, I say yes, go open up that book and go to university.
It's interesting, your story, and I'm grateful for the parents that you have in
Mhm.
terms of letting you go there. Like I remember, I was eventually pushed to study computer science. Now there was a gentleman who cares very much about young black men in Bermuda, um, and he pushed me to want to go into being an electrician, right? And folks, I weren't trying to wire nobody's house wrongly. Just because my father was an electrician, I'm like, no, do I look like an electrician? No, I have a lot of respect for electricians.
Yeah.
I go and work with my daddy. You understand the like how much your work, the safety, everything around it. So anyway, I wasn't. That was not for me, and so I was pushed towards computer information systems because the word back then was everyone's going to need an IT person. That's where the world's going, regardless of industry. Folks, you know how much I like to talk. Could you see me on a computer fixing a computer all day? Who's going to talk back to me? A robot? Nah, that wasn't for me. So anyway, I switched schools and majors, and I started majoring in business. Generic, general, whatever. And so I applied without my mom's permission to do a dual major, right? And when it was time to do the dual major, it was like double the money, and we didn't have that money. So my mom was like, I don't know about this, whatnot. And then she thought about opportunities in Bermuda. Like, there's no opportunities in Bermuda for radio and television, whatever. So mama said no. And back then, mama, of course, you had to rock with it. Long story short, Inter Island Communications launched Top 1075, I want to say either 2005, 2006. Whenever they launched it, that's when I went back to my mother and asked her, can I do a major and do radio production and television? And she said, yeah, if you can find another scholarship. Well, I landed a scholarship, and there I was doing a dual major in both business and radio and television production. Why do I share that story? Because at the end of the day, my mother knew what I really wanted to do, but she also thought about opportunities. But what I tried to get her to understand is that I'm not limiting myself to the environment I was brought up in. If there's no opportunities in Bermuda, then I go elsewhere. If there's no opportunities in Bermuda, I create those opportunities, folks. But what she didn't do is discourage me. She never told me what to do or what not to do. She just knew, boy, you ain't coming back Bermuda until you've done something that's going to be able to give you a career. We have a lot of questions or comments in the audience. What careers should we be preparing young people for in Bermuda? Let's go Central. Let's take, wow, it is a lot. Let's take Tanya Cheeseman and Sam that place.
I think it is important to find your passion. If you work in an industry that drives your passion, you will not feel like you are working a day in your life. And that's true. So accounting, finance, insurance, computer science and engineering, nursing, tradesmen, to name a few. Sancho, don't knock insurance though, as Bermuda has a good path, signature schools. I am hopeful for my son. Definitely not knocking insurance. I was in insurance, and all of my friends are in insurance, and I think it's a great industry, great for Bermuda, definitely. But I think that if someone is not interested, don't keep pushing them in that direction.
Yeah, and I think that's the point you were making. Yeah, she goes on to say her son has chosen robotics and computer science, and this was without my input. He's done me proud, making a decision on his own thus far to enter onto high school signature it should be high school signature program. Kara Sumner says, I wanted to be an artist. Instead, I chose insurance, being it was the dominating career sector. But now I am at a point in life where I am marrying my business knowledge and passion for art. Bingo, there you go. And that's what Central does. That's what I kind of do. Like with this, it's it's business and marrying the art of, like, all I'm good at is talking, I guess. So I just want the way to get paid for it. Michelle, wait for you, Central.
Lab tech is an area of blood research, love biology, but was told there are already too many Bermudians studying that. 5 years later, when I would have already graduated, they were advertising. Yeah, I think it's a matter of following your passion. And I just had one of my friends message me, and she's so right. Pinky is, we speak a lot on entrepreneurship, and her point is not following one path. You can have so many different paths, and keep your mind open to that.
It's Pinky Hair Salon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's been on the show. Absolutely. I love what she's done. Like, literally.
Amazing. When I tell you, we feed off of each other's energy so much because we're boy moms. So our sons are in a lot of the same activities, but then also entrepreneurship. And I can tell you, we don't speak all the time, but when we do, like, the connection that we have it's like, oh, it's so refreshing, right? To have somebody that understands that. So she's definitely helped me come out of my shell, build my network, and yeah. I'm thankful.
Someone needed to help her come out of her shell. Traveling Trotty says, we need to prepare young people with transferable skills, not necessarily based on a particular career. I love that. That must be an educator speaking.
You know what I did want to say? I just saw one of the comments. I have been down the hospital recently with my grandmother, and on the 3rd floor, the amount of Bermudian nurses that they have now is amazing. I remember at one point we were saying, we need Bermudian nurses. We need to get, people trained. There are so many Bermudian nurses on the 3rd floor. And I don't know about the rest of the floors, I haven't visited, but they are doing such a good job. Like, it kind of makes me proud when they walk in there. Yeah. My grandmother is so responsive, and the care that they're taking of her it's really, really impressive.
No, I remember was it 2001 after September 11th, the need for nurses worldwide, not just Bermuda, but a small place like Bermuda, it's competitive to get nurses, right? So that is an area where definitely, folks, you will always have a job. Now, I just want to go back to Traveling Trotter's comment, transferable skills. Folks, there are many. I remember when the pandemic first happened and a lot of customer-facing jobs were going away. And I read this article on LinkedIn, maybe from Forbes, about opportunities for people to transfer skills. So, for instance, if you were a bartender, right? Let's just use Bermudian businesses. You were a bartender at a Bermudian business, and obviously bars were closed down. There was no play, the government shut places down. There were still businesses open that maybe have sold bar products, right? Now, going and becoming a salesperson for a warehouse that supplies it, like your knowledge of certain drinks gave you an up in that area. And it was just showing how transferable people's skills were, and they didn't even know. So transferable skills is not always something that you have to go out and do a new course. It's something you actually have knowledge of that you just don't even realize you can put in a different space. It's really that simple. Rosalind Famous says, yes, imagine being a Bermudian saying that you want to be a translator, but I'm thankful for my supportive family. Today I run my own translation agency and very, very happy. That is a huge career because it's not something I grew up hearing people say they want to do, and I'm amazed that she has made a career out of it. One day I hope she can come on and teach me some Spanish. I said I was going to be fluent living in South Florida, but it just happened. Michelle White and Traveling Trotty for you sent you.
Start first with exposing youth to a variety of opportunities. Let them spend the day with anyone in field from trash truck to international business. And I believe in that.
All right. Definitely. I agree. Traveling Trotty for you.
Bermuda College class of 2022 have 5 students who graduated with an associate in science in nursing.
This is good. This is good. Awesome.
Here.
Let's bring Leanna in. We are going over time. We have Zane Hendrickson and Showande Butterfield backstage coming on. You know me and Gombeys, folks. Hey, look.
And I'm biased. This is my favorite group.
All right. So Sancho's got a favorite. I'm gonna be the one that's not gonna take bias. I enjoy quite a few. H&H, you got places.
I have a cricket team, but not a Gombey troop.
I mean, I'm from the neighborhood, so it'd have to be H&H. But one of us got. I'm biased. But look, let's bring in Leanna. See what she's got. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put Leanna on the spot. Leanna.
Yeah, we speak to Leanna today.
She announced that she is expecting, or as old Bermudians would say, older Bermudians. Let me not do that. They would say with child.
Yes, with child.
So now let's ask her the gender of said child. Let's do this. Good morning, Leanna.
Morning, guys. Good morning.
I am excited. You told me this was happening.
Sandra can't stop smiling. I'm excited. It was a great weekend. Before we get into that, I want to say shout out to the Rangers Club, because that's my area where I grew up for the last couple of years, and to see the amount of people that turned out for the Guns Down, Bikes Up, it was amazing. It was beautiful to see. So shout out to them. Have to.
Yeah, for real. And like we said earlier, if it were bad, we'd be all over it.
Yeah.
You have to push this kind of stuff.
Exactly. Positivity. So I'm all here for it on a Monday morning. Audience, yes, we found out the gender yesterday.
Hold on, drum roll. Let me find the drum roll.
So wait, before I say it, what did you think it was?
I said team girl. I wish you have a boy, but I think you're having a girl. What did you say, Jamal?
It's a boy.
Of course. And the opposite of whatever I say. That's Jamal.
Well, Sancha, you're wearing the color today. You are wearing the color today.
We're
having a girl.
You can't see my pink?
Oh, that's pink? Okay.
The lights are so bright, Jamal. I couldn't tell whether it was pink or white.
Yeah. My lights are I got my new lights. You guys saw the picture.
Got a whole studio back there. We're gonna catch up though.
Yeah.
Team girl.
Congratulations, Leanna. And
thank you.
Have a precious young lady. We've got all boys on the show, actually. Sancho's got a boy. Bill's got a boy. Larry's got a boy. So we needed some
We have some girl blood is ushering into this daily hour group. And it was funny because my partner, they gave him a basketball to like dunk in a hoop and then it exploded while I got to pop something. And when I saw the color come out, I was in total shock because that's not what I actually thought it was. I really thought it was gonna be a boy, but it's okay.
All right, Lee, let's get to the news break. Sancho will be back with the day of the year, and then we've got H&H coming up. It's a girl.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha, and good morning and happy Monday, everyone. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm Liana Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, a motorcyclist is in hospital fighting for his life after what police described as a serious crash in St. George's yesterday afternoon. Now, a police spokesperson said that the crash happened at about 2:45 p.m. on Cut Road near the junction with Floral Lane. The male rider appeared to lose control of his vehicle as he rode or drove east on Cut Road, striking a wall and a parked car. Life-saving efforts were commenced at the scene, and the man was transported to hospital for what was been described as life-threatening injuries. Now, traffic was diverted along Floral Lane as officers processed the scene, but the road reopened later on. Anyone with information is asked to call 211. Now, for those parents out there not yet aware, you might want to start looking for summer camps a little earlier than usual, as government announces public schools will close days earlier than previously scheduled as the government works to move forward with education reform. Now, Education Minister Diallo Rabane told the House of Assembly last Friday that the school year will end on Friday, June 24th, rather than the previously announced Wednesday, June 29th. He said it was not an easy decision to make and required the department's senior leadership team and the Ministry of Education to weigh up the advantages and disadvantages in terms of children's learning. The inconvenience is been said that to parents and families and the longer term vision that they have for learning. Now, the extra 2.5 days at the end of the term, he said, will allow schools to work with undivided attention, ensuring that we are even more prepared for the next design and implementation phases. Now, to help combat these camp challenges, the Department of Youth and Sport will start their summer camps a week early on June 27th, with online registration to begin on May 25th this week. And yes, the island is in full prep mode to welcome the return of its beloved Bermuda Day Parade. However, the city of Hamilton is asking the public to help keep the city clean. Now, people who plan to watch the spectacle on Friday are asked not to mark their spots in advance with paint, and any used will be removed prior to the parade, and if possible, persons responsible will be prosecuted for vandalism. City of Hamilton CEO Dwayne Kane said that using hot coals or barbecues is also not allowed on the city's sidewalks. Now, he said with the congestion expected on the sidewalks along the parade route, one must realize that the cooking of food, especially with an open flame, is a hazard. Businesses and residents are also warned that the holiday will impact trash collection. So, with the last waste pickup before the long weekend is set to take place on 5 p.m. at 5 p.m. on Thursday, normal trash collection will resume on Monday. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 79 and a low near 73 degrees. You've probably noticed it is a bit of a cloudy start to this Monday morning, but don't worry, it will brighten up later as the day progresses. Now, there will be a couple of troughs that will bring about a risk of a few showers today and later on Wednesday. But other than that, guys, meteorologists say that conditions remain largely settled under high pressure with light to moderate breezes. Temperatures will continue a little above the seasonal average, so we can anticipate a hot and sunny holiday weekend. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Lee Sench. What you got day of the year? What you got for us? Something good?
Today is World Turtle Day.
Okay. That one coming. Sorry. World Turtle Day.
You didn't expect that. That just came like
Did not.
Jamal was expecting something to look well.
Yeah, like probably dance day. I don't know. We had that already probably. But Turtle Day. Tell me about a turtle. What
Turtles.
Turtles are reptiles that are found in many environments all around the world. These creatures play an important role in their respective ecosystems. They maintain an ecological balance, and therefore it is important that we conserve these gentle animals.
Okay, I had turtles growing up.
Yeah,
Leonardo and Michelangelo, of course. Was only right.
Yeah.
That's what you named them, huh?
Yes.
Can I tell you what I named my turtle?
Oh my God.
Moo Moo and Foo Foo.
Okay. Names are not your strong suit, Sancha.
Well, I mean, she's got paws.
Pet names.
Yeah, paws and yeah. My sister had a turtle. I don't remember the name, but she had every pet, like a hamster, everything. But she didn't really take care of them. She just got pets because she was my mama's pet. But that's another story. I called her that. I called her out, but somebody better not tell her. But Lee,
Definitely telling her. Yep.
that's how
That was like a shot to the gut.
This is what I'm saying to your sis. Jeez, man.
My mama's pet got all the pets.
You
But
don't stand a chance, Lee.
I know, and I just said I'm having a girl. You already see his violent already.
what?
Violence.
Shucks. Lee, we'll see you tomorrow. Jeez,
See you guys tomorrow.
my Don King on. What's your all right, Sancha and myself, we'll be back. We've got H&H Gombeys coming up. Folks, don't miss this, as I just tweeted. You cannot speak or define Bermudians without mentioning the Gombey. What you think, Sancha? You agree?
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, stick with us. The fellas are coming up.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
We're featuring a range of remarkably effective household cleaning solutions made with ecologically sound ingredients and pleasing fragrances from Ecos, a company with over 50 years' experience producing plant-powered cleaning products. The founder was a veteran chemist in the cleaning products industry and started up Ecos as a response to the harsh chemicals he had routinely encountered. Try Ecos non-abrasive cream cleanser, vinegar window cleaner, and in spray bottles, Orange Plus and Parsley Plus cleaners, shower and floor cleaners, furniture polish, and stain and odor remover. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Sancha Durham, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website so you don't miss a chance for updates, promotions, prizes, and more. Also, if you're on the go and you can't watch us, that's okay. Download the BCG Radio app, available for both Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every single time we go live. All right, without further ado, let's bring our guests for the day. We've got Zane Hendrickson and Showande Butterfield with H&H Gombeys. Good morning, gents. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, first off, you guys heard my music I played earlier, H&H Gombeys. That was probably from about 12 years ago. So I'm not begging you. I'm just asking if there's a new recording out that we can purchase for the Daily Hour. What you got for us?
Of course.
All right.
We go.
But truth be told, I think every Bermudian should have a sample of that music. It's our sound. It's our sound. It's our sound. That to me is something that we should be playing in college rooms and so on. But as we get into the conversation, let's just speak about H&H in particular. How long has H&H been around? Like you've been around for a while, but how long has the troupe been around? When was it founded?
H&H, I want to say what, 33 years?
1980.
1980. Which one?
1989. We was formed.
89.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my sister's year of birth. And you were founded. Obviously, the name was H&N first. Where did H&H come from? Because there were troops. I think Places is celebrating 60 something years this year. There were other. Yeah, so there are other troops that have been around for a longer period of time. But how did H&H come about? Like, was it your father and grandfather, Zane?
Yeah, my father, my grandfather, and a man called Mr. Nesbitt. That's how the N came in about on the H&M back then. And then eventually over the years the Nesbitt stepped on and just came to be H&H.
And was that Funk Nesbitt?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
okay. I think I saw him dancing at the Gombey festival one time. I mean, he's much older now, but I was like, that's gotta be cousin Funk there. Okay. And you're the Gombey captain, correct? You're the captain for the troop?
Yes, one of them. Yes.
What is the role of the Gombey captain?
Everything. I want everything. Make sure my dancers are doing what they're supposed to be. My drummers are doing what they're supposed to be. Just a little everything. We take care of everything on the whole group. We want the whole group, basically.
And when you say take care of everything, I mean, I look at a captain in cricket or football, right? And I mean, some football captains are grumpy to me because they're always shouting and yelling. You don't seem like the shouting and yelling kind, but you obviously have to, if people are watching the troop, so you pull up, you're dancing outside, swinging doors. The captain is the one that stands out there, chooses the people who's dancing next. They're the ones who hold the whip. Like what's the difference between like the object that the captain holds versus the dance he does? Like speak to us about the differences.
Okay, the captain, I carry the whip. So basically, I'm the main captain, so I carry the whip. So everybody will look at me for commands. So I blew my whistle. Everything is being whistled. You don't hear too much talking, but we do talk. But you don't hear too much talking. Everything is with commands with my whistle, and maybe little finger pointings and all that. But yeah, everything is commands with the whistle. That's why we have Gombey training. So we train, so everybody knows what they're gonna do. If they don't listen, I bring out my whip.
It sounds like a sport, to be honestly. And Showande, I'll ask you this question, and Zane, I'll ask you the same question. What does what does being a Gombey mean to each of you? And I'll start with Showande. From a drummer's perspective, obviously you've danced as well, but what does it mean to you?
Gombeys means chisels. If you could sum up life in that, then that's what that means to me. Gombey is life to me. I say that because I've been dancing Gombey since I was 3. I'm knowing Zane all my life. She's at one point in time I was living with Zane. So it's always been a family orientated type of vibe when it came to H&H. My mama is actually real close friends. One of my mama's best friends is Zane's mama. So Gombeys to me is life, is everything. It grew me, it raised me, it helped me be the man that I am today. Life.
Zane, how about you? What does it mean to you? Obviously, I like the family aspect that Showande just mentioned, and I know your family, your mother Tammy, and knew your father Stickers, and your grandfather Mr. Hendrickson in my mouth. What does it mean to you to carry on this legacy? Your brother, yourself, Showande, Sean, so many others.
I'm proud to carry on my family's legacy. Like I think it's just me. It's a lot of us all involved. I got my first cousin, got Zane, Calvin. I got my brother. I got other people's that's closest of my cousins. So like you said, I got Sean. Well, a lot of people in my group. But it's an honor to take care of my family's legacy. But like what Showande was saying, like Gombey is his life. I think it's just about Gombey. It's just all the things that we do. For people like trying to keep people off the streets, stuff like that, and just different stuff.
Yeah, can I just piggyback off what Zane said real fast? Like it's definitely it definitely transfers. It's a transition from being a little boy to a young man to a growing that out, and you find yourself going through them 3 changes, and you feel you have that type of feeling, like you know. I grew up Middletown, Fenton's Drive, Craven Avenue, and you know that was Pondor. So Jamal, you already know what that's like growing up.
Sure.
So you know it's like Gombeys was my separation from that. I was into sports, a lot of sports, but it was really Gombeys who separated me from that. You know, I was never the child to get, I got in mischief, but not to get caught up, because I had people like Zane, I had people like Sean Casey. You know, Sean plays a big part in my life when it comes to, you know, outside of Gombeys too. He's like a father figure to me, so it's like, it's no room for you to slip. Because like I said, you got him, you got Sean, you got Zane, you got Vin. You know, then I had other people to look up to, like, you know, Kumba. I respect all of them. So it's like, you know, it's life. It's life.
Yeah. And I just want to back end that, Sancha, because I remember when I was coaching down in our village, and a lot of the players I coached, they were actually Gombey practice on days they weren't doing football, and they obviously most of them, all of them actually, were in H&H Gombeys. The family aspect, the coaching, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because we're all from the same area, and it really is interesting how Gombeys was a way of separation of mischief. Not to say we were perfect, but if it's not football, if it's, you know, a lot of young girls, my sister went to dance. She went to Suzette Harvey, who's celebrating a big anniversary this year, I believe. But young guys going to Gombeys, and it has played a huge role in our community in giving young men a chance. When Zane mentioned the role of the captain, when he spoke of that, all I can think about is the discipline aspect of it. I've watched them train at Pigsfield. I've watched it, and I'm just like, yo, I don't know, but is this the Bermuda Regiment or Gombeys? And I'm not saying it as a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But people just think it's this. Some people literally have no idea. They just think, oh, it's a beat and a dance. No, it's a lot of discipline. Like, these guys have to. One day they were running, and I must have asked, I want to say years ago, Takasta Goda. I think, yeah, there's Takasta. He was a Gombey back then. I was like, what you guys running for? Oh, Gombey practice. These guys were running like they were training for football, right? And it gave me a perspective that this is so much more than I think people understand or will ever give Gombeys and the various troops and captains credit for. So I just wanted to say that. Sancho, I'm sorry, I'm too over the hill show.
Wouldn't go. I know. I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
This is Jamal's topic. So, I mean, for me, I'm new to this, and I'm excited this year because Maddox, my son, is a part of H&H. And Jamal, I can say I show up at rehearsals, and the way that Zane and Showande are with the kids, it's you know, I have a hard time letting go, but I can actually step back, and the way that they are with the kids, it's this gentle but yet strict. It's an amazing feeling, and the kids respect them. And I know for me, you know, looking in as a parent, I'm proud that I've chosen H&H for Maddox to be a part of, because what he got. And Jamal, you talk about that run, and Zane said to me the other day, oh, Maddox was hurt. But I tell you, Maddox came back from that run. He was like, Mama, my heart hurt, my stomach hurt, my back hurt. But I think it's good because at that young age, they're training them you know what I mean, for what's
Yeah.
to come, and the brotherhood that is being created, between the boys with the mentorship of Zane and Showande and everyone else is there. I think it's amazing. But with that being said, how do you feel that Gombeys have evolved over the years?
I feel that is evolved tremendously, in positive ways, more so positive than negative. Because always nothing comes without.
But first you'll have to unlock
So
your device.
I would say it's definitely changed from when I was a kid growing up dancing Gombeys. I don't know if you guys probably remember the Gombey competitions that they used to have up at Belmont. And that was a huge thing for Gombeys. It wasn't, we have a festival now. I'm grateful for that, yes. But it doesn't compare to what it was when we had a festival. We you see how we are for May 24th. But the festival was the biggest thing for us. Yeah. And I think to take away that, or I can't say take away, to kind of water it down and to have a festival. No, that's a change that I really wouldn't have made. But I'm just glad that that was still able to promote and push out our heritage and keep it alive. So it's definitely evolved. The music's changed. We have a lot more groups now than we did before. I know, with H&H, Zane could correct me if I'm wrong, but we started off from places and we branched out from places. So it's definitely evolved. And I say with the way how things are operated now, I want to say, the costumes are definitely different. They're definitely more unique than it was before. Like I said, the music has not changed drastically, but it's changed in a good way. Some Gombey groups, like I know my wife, for an example, she never used to follow Gombeys like that, but now she's at the place where if we don't even have to see a group and she could tell just from the music. So that's even evolved. So it's a good look for the heritage, for the culture, and I just hope that once we're gone, I just hope our time has stamped something so that this could stay and live on in Bermuda, because it's definitely should be our pride and joy when it comes to Bermuda.
Yeah, I often say, Essential, if you don't mind, I often say, without trying to be controversial, when I was working for tourism, I would rather wear a Gombey cape before Bermuda shorts, because to me that defines who I am as a Bermudian more than the Bermuda shorts and the socks. And again, that's not no offense to anyone who chooses that. I'm just saying that culturally that's who I feel I am. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Showande, you just touched on one of the questions that I had. You are a drummer, and I've noticed that each group does have a distinct sound. Can you explain the sound of H&H and what makes them different?
Okay, well, each group pretty much follows has different tribes that they follow. With H&H, it's a sentimental thing for us, because at the end of the day, Zane's grandpa is actually a very close, first cousin of the tribe that we follow. So that's I want to believe that's St. Kitts and Nevis. So it's unique because everybody has their own style. So when you listen to a H&H, it's more of a, I want to say, more relaxation type of tempo, more type of kind of a slower type of tempo. Some other groups have maybe a faster type of tempo to their music. Some people, their rhythm and their beat is very, I want to say, very unique to that group, and that's what they have. That's what they're known for. That's their brand. If you understand what I'm saying in a way, and that's what makes it all unique. That's what makes it all unique, and that's what makes that's what brings it all together. Us being different is a good thing that brings it all together and makes this thing a good culture for Bermuda.
So recently, after a training session, Maddox asked to take his Gombey hat and Gombey cape to school because he wanted to teach his class the meaning of the tassels and the mask, in which you had taught him, which I didn't know about. How is the history of the Gombeys taught, and what age is this implemented?
It's never
I
know
would,
really.
yeah.
To teach them. We could teach them from now, from their very young age, teach them the history of our Gombeys. Yes, I'm glad he was paying attention because that day it was raining that day, and I took him upstairs and I gave him all of them a piece of history of H and just Gombeys period. So I'm glad he went home and told his mama.
No, he did a whole presentation at school, okay? He taught everybody at school. This is what the tassels are, and this is what the mask means. And I mean, I think it's so cool because a lot of people they will follow Gombeys and they see the dance and the attracted to the music, but they don't actually understand the history of it, where it came from, and why we're doing this, right?
Yeah.
So
a lot of people
yeah.
A lot of Bermudians are like that. They're just like the Gombeys. A lot of them, they don't even know what Gombey means. A lot of people don't know what Gombey means, and people just go on, just say stuff, and they don't even know the meanings and different stuff on Gombey suits and stuff like that. So I try to teach people.
Well, what does it mean? What does the Gombey mean, and what are some of the symbols? Just so because we actually have a question in the audience, where Traveling Trot is asking, is H&H Gombey history written anywhere for folks to read and learn?
Not per se H&H. As a whole, you could probably find the history. The more you dig into, like I said, each group follows different tribes, but it's all solely based off of the same thing almost. And I'm glad, essentially, you touched on that. And like Zane said, I'm glad that Maddie was paying attention, because we have a lot of older people that really don't know. So when you heard the word Gombeys, it's rhythm and beat. Just a few quick pointers just to educate the listeners just a bit. But yeah, it means rhythm and beat. When you see a mirror on a Gombey suit, that's to reflect the demons. If you know that Gombeys are runaway slaves, that's what we reenact. So we have a skit that we play out with Daniel and the Lions Den, and you see him in there trying to get out, and we're on the circle, and then you see everybody getting at him, and then when we all come together, we go around, we make a big circle again, and he's gone. So that's a unique part to our group, and people will look at it, but you're not really understanding exactly what we're doing. So just to touch base on that a little bit, and then with the wool, every hole that you see that wool goes on, every hole represents a shackle of a slave. So it's very unique. So for a mask, you have to hide your identity. When like I said, it's runaway slaves. So that mask is to change your identity. So if you're running away and your slave master happens to see you, he don't know who you are, because that identity is covered. When you have the peacock feathers, when you see the peacock feathers, it's a certain way we have to turn it. You may have to make sure the eye of the peacock feather is faced outwards. So that's the reason for the slaves who were looking out for the slave masters. So that's the highest peak of the head. So that's our lookout. So it's just little things like that people wouldn't know. And as Bermuda, we see Gombeys when we used to see them on our post stamps. We see Gombeys everywhere in Bermuda. But are we really educated about it? When we talk about Black History Month, or even when it comes to things like that for our heritage, these are the things that we don't really break down so that people understand. So I just wanted to push that out there.
And I appreciate that. Did what's it called of Daniel that you just mentioned? The where they got in the circle.
Dan and the Lions Den.
Yes, I think I learned that from my godson Rakaja years ago, because I didn't. I remember where the Gombeys sit in a circle, like they sit in a circle, right?
Yes.
And there's one in the middle or around it, and I was like, I mean, again, I was always around the Gombeys, but didn't understand it. Rakaja was told me this when he was young, like young to the point where he was probably Maddox's age, because Kaja probably started dancing right out of the womb, right?
Most definitely.
Right. So. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because as the audience is saying, this is very informative. These are people who understand the culture. Rosalind Famous, I'm learning the meaning of the word Gombey today. Thank you. Sanch, you had another question?
Gosh, I just got lost in that, Showande. I did. I really did. What does H&H do to ensure that Gombeys remain important part of Bermuda tradition?
Yeah, who wants that one?
You get that, Zane? Okay, I don't mind taking it. So, the importance like that we try to do to keep this tradition going. That's what you're asking, essentially.
Yeah.
Staying on top of these boys. Not letting them slip. Because as when we grew up, Zane, myself, you had Wayne. You had Kelvin, you had these. We guys were young coming up, and Jamal mentioned Takasa. You had Renako. You had a lot of older people that used to dance Gombeys, and we keep talking about the discipline side of it, and it could be brutal sometimes. If you're not built for it, you're not gonna last. You're not gonna last. I remember the first time I got whipped, and I tried to play my mama for it. And big respect to my mama too, because she's big in the Gombeys community as well too, because the things that I see her go through, especially now making Gombey suits just up to maybe 3-4 o'clock mornings, almost every night for probably the last 2-3 weeks, just getting stuff done. I know she's probably have 5 or 6 Gombey suits to make. But that's her. That's what she does. That's what I grew up with. So to keep that alive, and you see people digging in and doing stuff like that, it makes you want to give back to them. It makes you want to say, you know what? I'm not giving up. Yeah. And like I said, I got whipped. The discipline side of it. I ran to my mom. I tried to play her for it, and I was crying. I said, hey, look, I got whipped, and I don't want to dance no more. You know what she told me? You better go back in line. And I looked at her, I said, you gotta be joking me. I just got whipped. So it from that day right there, it showed me the balance that between outside of Gombeys with my parents and in the Gombeys in the trenches with my captains, it's no shaking nobody. Everybody's hand in hand with it. So if I got discipline from my captain, I knew that at the end of the day, I best not go complain to my mama, because she knew that at the end of the day, if I get whipped, it's because I wasn't doing something. You know what I mean? So, I just think that, like I said, to keep it going, Central, it's definitely, we're gonna really look at the bigger picture now. Like Jamal said, the things that we're doing in and around the community. We look at just like what Rangers was doing the other day, just to keep people around, just to keep a different dynamic, get away from bad noise. And that's what Gombeys does. It takes away all that bad noise. So it's like, we try to do things as far as like going camping. We go camping every year. We take the boys, no mamas allowed, and they only allowed on the last day. So we do things like that to keep them around, to show them that, that outside of Gombeys, this is a family. We're here for you. So the more things that we do to push out for them, to show them that, hey, listen, outside of Gombeys, we're a family and we got you. The more we do things like that, it's what's going to keep us around. It's what's going to keep this tradition going. Like, I see some Gombey groups giving back as far as, for the Relay for Life. I saw a couple of Gombey groups up there as well, too. That's just giving back. That's just, that's how that's going to keep the engine going for Gombeys. The more we do for the people in the community, the more the community is going to give back to the Gombeys, and then it works for everybody.
I just wrote some notes to wrap up the show a bit later based on what you just said, because I want people, do not go anywhere, because I'm going to take something from what Showande just said to really help you understand what sets the Gombeys apart from pretty much. And you know, I love my community clubs. I love our community clubs, but something in what he said will give us a perspective of why we need to support them in so many ways. Before you go, we have the folks just love you. Stacy Grant says, and she's from the hood as well, if they taught this in school, I'm sure I would have paid more attention in history. Rosalind famous, his passion is inspiring. Before you go, preparations for the holiday. One question that confused people some years ago, and in the most concise manner possible. People were confused one year when it rained on Bermuda Day and the Gombeys did not wear their uniforms or whatnot. What was behind that? Just explain that, because I remember it was some controversy.
Okay.
I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask one controversial question.
It's cool on that, and me and Zane's gonna laugh because you know what? We was that group to do that.
That's right.
Okay.
We was that group to do that. Now you know that kind of took away from tradition in a sense, because it kind of contradicts that identity that we was talking about. Now you know it was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because like you said, you know, if you don't understand, and you know, when it rains, I just touch base on, you know, the time that goes into a Gombey suit, i.e. my mama, I use her as an example, up hours in the morning, and then like Zane touched on, like, you know, we doing mass, doing Gombey hatchets, making sure everything is pretty much intact. So you do all this stuff, make sure your suit, everything is inspected, and it's good to go. And then it rains. When it rains, you cannot get your Gombey hat wet. If you peacock feathers, you have glitter. When that stuff gets wet, the hat is pretty much no more good. With your Gombey suit, when velvet gets wet, it's not a good mix. So we was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they still wanted us to perform. And see, this is what I didn't understand, because if you understand our heritage and our culture, then you would know that at the end of the day, if it's raining, no Gombeys is going to happen. But they still continue to put the pressure on us, and we asked if we can go back, maybe a few spots back, to see, you know, how the weather is going to play out, because we was the first Gombey group that was supposed to go in that parade. And like I said, so when the weather was raining at the time we were supposed to start, we had to make a decision right there and then. Is H&H going to go on, or are we just not going to do it altogether? So what we said was, hey, look, you know what? At the end of the day, you guys, we'll put in a lot of work with this. We'll put in a lot of time with this. And, you know, sanctioners now as to come to training, the amount of work that these kids put in to make that day possible. It's like, you know, what do we do? Do we still, you know, put these suits on? And, you know, some of these suits could be expensive. So, you know, what, like I said, what do we do in a situation like that? And, you know, we thought about the kids first, I guess, before the heritage side of it. Like I said, it could be looked at maybe like a contradiction, because we went against the protocol, you know, but the circumstances that we was up against, like I said, we put the youths and our group forward first before we even thought about the heritage side of it. And to be honest, I don't even think the government kind of thought about that whole aspect of it as well too. Had they did, then they probably would have said, you know what, we'll let you guys go back down the line a little further and see how the day pans out. And the day panned out good. It turned out to be a wonderful day afterwards. But then at the end of the day too, it was good to see the excitement that these kids still had during that day. That day didn't get stripped from them or taken away from them because of the bad weather. So I just wanted to clear that.
No, and thank you for clearing it up, because there are people in the audience. You know, you can't get Gombey's outfit wet. Some people know that. And then Aisha Place also says suits ain't meant to be worn in the rain. That basically wastes the money. Of course, and
Central could probably testify from a female's point of view. You know, you get your hair all done, and hey, look,
but let me say, I was at your mom's house yesterday, and Jamal, he is not exaggerating when I tell you, like, she puts work in. So she's doing Maddox's suit as well. And I went there, and your sister was sitting there, and I just said to him, I was like, listen, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, but it was beautiful, like feathers everywhere and bows, and it was amazing to see. Like,
you know what? It's crazy because just because of that, you see how you saw my sister. That's how me and my siblings was. So just from that, putting in that time with my mom, and like I said, this just goes back to it again. No, I could have been outside with my purse, maybe getting into mischief and in trouble, but no, I'm here with my mom because I'm dedicated to Gombeys. I love it just as much as Zane does, just as much as the other captains do. And from that, I reap the benefits and rewards for learning how to sew, learning how to knit, learning how to crochet. Like I could do damn things. If it's something that went wrong with my son's Gombey suit, I could fix it.
Yeah.
So,
So I look, I hate to end this show because I'm honestly, folks, you know my bias. Like, this is one of my favorite conversations. Honestly, the politics, all that stuff, I don't have to do another day of that. But this right here is history that I wish we was taught the way that we teach other things. These are the cultural stories, the traditions that I believe I want to be a part of, making sure that are never forgotten. I even want to have his mom on. Dornay, my godson's mom. I remember what she went through and like preparing her son. There's so much more to this. So I'm hopeful that the conversation can continue. Just go through a few comments before I let you guys go. Tamara Richardson, what an example of passion leading to purpose. More young men need this example, front and center. Love the convo. Rosalind Famous, she does have a question. Maybe there can be a new evolution, an alternate rain outfit. That sounds like it costs money, but not a bad idea. But real quickly, Friday, the holiday, according to Leanna, looks like a good day. One of the things, you guys didn't have to answer this, one of the things I really enjoyed as a child was the Gombeys used to always be last in the parade. Last question. How different does it make the experience, not just for the crowds, but the Gombeys, and not participating at the end, like having Gombeys in the middle of the parade? Does it take away from it, or does it? How do you guys feel about it?
Well, before Zane answers it, I'm just going to say I don't like it at all, and at all. From a kid coming up, Gombeys was always, I could wait to the end. I got any group I could choose from to say it's party time. I feel like when it's in between, it kind of, I just like all being at the back, and it feels like one big party. Like it's just one big rush. It's just a little I feel like when they break it up, it kind of takes away from all of that, from all that type of excitement. I feel like it really takes away from it. But to answer that question, I don't like it.
Showande is a creature of habit.
Zane, what's your thoughts on it, Zane?
Okay, back in the days when I grew up, when I was younger, all the Gombeys was at the back. So when government changed it, mixing up the Gombeys between the parade, it's never worked for the Gombeys, because the Gombeys, when they march as a snake movement, not straight line. They expect us to keep up with people's got wheels. I said, I can't keep up with them. I'm getting straight. I'm gonna do a snake movement again on the road. So it always came up with problems because the government's got marshals, and the marshals getting on us, and then I'm getting back at the marshals, and then it's always caused a fix of problems, So I'm glad they changed it and put it at the back. So now, as Gombeys, was supposed to be history of Gombeys and attires. So I'm glad they put it at the back. So now everybody can enjoy themselves and party at the back.
Gombeys at the back. Call me a traditionalist, but I'm a fan of Gombeys. And then it's again the party aspect. What ending it with this big bang, guys? Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Definitely, we have to continue this conversation. We're going to do our part to make sure that the story of the Gombey, the culture, the tradition, we do our best to carry it on. Have fun on Bermuda Day. I won't be there in person, but in spirit, and hopefully it's tuned in. I'll get my beats. And also, if you guys seriously, if you have the music for sale, please let us know, because I feel like every Bermudian needs to have the Gombey beat. And I am biased in my beat. H&H is the beat that I personally like.
I think we did have one before. I think we did have recordings before, but I could definitely check to see if we got an updated one. But before we do pull out, I just want to, just say thank you to you guys again for having us on this show. Thank you for the listeners who, who enjoyed it and was well informed. And I'm glad that you got a lot out of this show. I want you guys to keep it up, because, this is a good movement. It's a good look. And I also just want to say thank you to the people in the background at H&H as well, that, not everybody just sees what's happening in front of you, but there's a lot of people that do work in the background to make it possible. You know what I mean? And I just want to just say a special thanks to Sean Casey. Big up to my boy. Big up to Van Rana. Zane right here too. I'm gonna big you up too, Zane. You know what I mean? You guys, Rico, all my captains, Risco, Alex. Big special thanks to Zanico as well, Zane's brother. He plays a big part as well too.
That's the boss. He called him boss.
Big up to Cal, and then I want to big up to Lisa, Zena.
Yeah.
I can't forget them. And to the ones that are passed. Zane's daddy, this is his the guy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Zane's daddy, Zane's papa. We have Ricardo. We have a lot of people who has passed away that we still stay strong for, and we still continue on the legacy for them too. So
we carry him every time we dance.
I was just going to say that I learned yesterday when your mom measured Maddox's arm.
Oh, yeah. That's what we put it down for,
in honor of them.
In honor of them.
Nice.
All our late people that's passed.
That's amazing. Gents, Showande, Zane, thank you. And we're
Thank
definitely in touch with you guys. Got to continue the conversation. Have a good day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. H&H, folks, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like if you appreciated that conversation. I tell you all the time, and I mean it when I say this after today's show especially. Please carry these conversations around the water cooler, your children, your family barbecues. This is culture. This is history. This is us.
That was
We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We're going to wrap it up with Sancha and myself. You don't want to miss this, because I picked up something, Sancha, and I just want to explain it to the audience, and I'm sure you have a lot to say too.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Lindos, and Motocross, and also H&H Gombeys. Thank you guys so much, Showande, Butterfield, Zane, Hendrickson, for that conversation this morning. These are the conversations. This is the reason Sancha, myself, Phil, Larry, Leanna, Maya, Sherry, this is why we do this show, because of things like this. We're going to wrap it up, but time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sancha, are you ready?
You're not going to give up on this daily play. We're late, Jamal. You should just skip it today.
Hey, people pay for this. It's a who said it.
That's
Quote,
it.
we
That's
can't change the world unless we change ourselves. It was by a famous New York rapper.
Can't change the world unless we Jay-Z. No. Can't change the world unless we change ourselves. Famous New York rapper.
Just had a 50th birthday this weekend.
Yeah.
We can't change the world unless we change ourselves, is the quote. Christopher Wallace, aka
Biggie.
Biggie Smalls,
Biggie Smalls
his 50th birthday on May 21st, which was Saturday. Look, Sanch, let's wrap it up. What are your final thoughts on today's episode, the discussion about preparing children, and then obviously H&H?
Today has been a great day, Jamal. I have thoroughly enjoyed today's show. You know what I have picked up on recently? We keep saying, what can we do for Black males in our community? And you look at over the last week, so we had the cricket board come on. We've talked about Rangers, guns down, bikes up. We talked about Gombeys. We have it. There is, and even like I said, I go down to Bermuda Motocross. We have lots of different areas for our Black males to get involved in to help them get off of the street. And I'm just putting it out there. We need to find some funding for all of these programs so that our Black males are funded correctly. And let's invest in these Black males so we can get them off of the street. I mean, we have a common story that comes around, and he's not lying. Gombey suits are expensive. So go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, to wrap it up, I think both conversations come together. What can we prepare our young people for? What kind of careers? I think the answer is we have to prepare them, as Steve Perry once said, for things that don't yet exist. I also, one of the things I wrote down, which is funny, Sancha and I are literally thinking the same, which I'm like, is she looking at my notes? But what I wrote down when Showande was speaking was this, folks. He mentioned the cost. He mentioned the amount of work that goes into it. He mentioned a lot of stuff, but not once did Showande or Zane ask for money or funding. Exactly. Not once did they do that. Not once did they ask for financial support. Their focus was these young men. And for me, that says a lot about the mentality. Yes, they need funding, likely. Mm-hmm. Yes, they need public support. But their focus on these young men, man, and that's what I wanted to touch on. That's what I really hope people take away from these guys' dedication. We see them dancing in the street. We hear the drums. But the work being done by the men involved in these groups is not appreciated enough.
And they are not being paid for it.
No.
They're not, and this is coming from the kindness of the heart. This is them, wanting a safe place for our males, wanting them to.
We've got to wrap it up, Sench.
We're passionate about this.
You've got some daily inspiration?
I do. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. And that's from Benjamin Franklin.
That's a good one. I love that one. All right, folks. Well, it's a short week this week, thanks to Bermuda Day holiday, or as you all will see on our Twitter account, 24th of May. But thanks again to our partners, Motocross, One Communications, Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman, my friends. Make it a safe and great day. Let me get my mug because Sancha still don't have one.
I'm not gonna sip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have a great day, guys.